Hello, my name is Steve Mashney. My real name is Hussein, and I am a former Muslim. I was born in the United States. My father's Palestinian. My mother is from Brazil, and I was raised a nominal Muslim in the United States until I was around 9 years old. And then my parents divorced when I was 9, and my dad took my sister and me to the Holy Land, to the West Bank, where he is from. And I lived there 3 years. And while I was there, I learned Arabic and I learned Islam. And I was very spiritually hungry, so I became a very devout Muslim, very committed. I was young. I was 9, and I lived there 3 years. And our village is near Jerusalem. It is in Arabic called Der Dibwan, which is in the Bible. It's the village of Ai. And after 3 years, we came back to the United States. And when we came back to the United States, I was still a very committed Muslim, and I was very devout and, tried to follow Islam the best I could. But then on the night before Easter, 1978, I was watching Saturday Night Live. I was 15 years old by then. And as I watched it, after Saturday Night Live, there was nothing else on TV except an Oral Roberts crusade. And so I was watching. He was talking about the resurrection because it was Easter. And as he spoke, the Spirit of God just fell on me so powerfully. And Jesus was like right there. And I turned my head and said, Jesus. And I know he was there. I didn't see him with my eyes, but I know he was there. And he changed my life. It was like I don't say I was a Muslim and I became a Christian. I was dead and I came to life. When Jesus came, when the Holy Spirit came, he filled me with life. I was 15 at the time. My father, who was Muslim, he wasn't very religious before, but then he started becoming religious when I became a Christian, trying to bring me back to Islam. But eventually he kicked me out and I went to live with my mom. And when I lived with my mom, she was Catholic, and so she allowed me to go to church. And I went to church and grew in the Lord, and I went to the university. I became a journalist, and then I also went to Bible school, and I became a missionary. Went back to the Holy Land, and I wanted to be a missionary to my people, the Palestinians. And I kind of felt like I told the Lord, I'm willing to do this for 10 years. I feel like I kind of felt like the Lord wanted like a 10-year commitment to be a missionary in the Holy Land. And I lived 2 years in Jerusalem and then 6 years in the Gaza Strip. And I was a missionary in the Gaza Strip for 6 years. And I worked with the Bible Society in Gaza. And I also attended the Gaza Baptist Church. And then I also worked with another ministry that took Palestinian children to Israeli hospitals for heart operations. So I did that for 3 years at the Bible Society. And I saw several miracles while I was there. I was ministering to several young men, some of whom did accept the Lord. And I would, disciple them and teach them about the Bible. And then in 2007, when Hamas took over the Gaza Strip, I was evacuated from Gaza. And I went from there to Sweden, where I lived for 3 years, working with the Arabic ministry there in Stockholm. And then I came back to the U.S. in 2010. In 2010, I started working. The Lord opened the door for me to start ministering through television. And I ministered with Father Zechariah Butros for 10 years. He's on his channel. It's called El Fadi. And so I would do Arabic programs with him, and then I had my own program. It's called Message of Grace, which was about Islam in English, and I did that for about 6 years. And then after that, and around 2021, I have just been doing YouTube, and I do YouTube now. I have a channel called Hussein Mashni. I do a live stream called My Journey to the Trinity, where I talk about Islam. I talk about Islamics and Christian doctrine, mostly the things that are a problem for Muslims. For instance, the Trinity, the death and resurrection of Christ, and the deity of Christ. So that's the focus of my YouTube channel. And so that's kind of my testimony. And my wife is Armenian Iranian, and so she used to live in Iran, and she came to the Lord and about 10 years ago. Even though she was an Armenian Christian, she wasn't really born again, but she came to the Lord, and so we minister together, and often we do live streams together. And I've been married now for a little bit over a year, and so that's kind of my testimony. And I watched a testimony, or some testimonies on your channel on YouTube, and so I thought, if you'd be interested in my testimony, I'm willing to do that. Either way, God bless you, and God bless your ministry. Thank you.